Hey guys, it's Max again. So, I guess I'm gonna do this, or try to do this weekly, and hopefully I'll keep up with it. Um, I'm not really sure what to talk about, to be honest, but let's just start with me rambling about nothing at all. But really, though, this week for me was eye opening because I went to Connecticut this weekend and great cons. I love going to cons. I mean, it's stressful, people being jackasses without realizing they're being jackasses. But that's life. And you're going to find that wherever you go. But it was eye opening in the sense of I was cosplaying a guy, a character, and I look at myself, at pictures of myself as this person, and I look so much more happy. I look much more happy. I look happier than I ever been. There we go. That's the correct way to say it. And it's weird because I look happier than I am in normal everyday life. And I kind of find it funny that I can be happy like that when I'm not me. But I want to make it so that the happiness that I had as that character that it showed in these photos come out day to day and it's not faked. Because to all my friends out there, I may seem happy, I may seem not all that upset or sad, but a lot of that is just me knowing how to hide it and kind of push off dealing with that, all those emotions, which probably isn't a good idea, but you work with what you got and you do you. So I guess it's the process of me learning how to take that happiness from when I was that character and putting it into my everyday life. And I started to do that. I drafted an email to email to my teachers back at school. Basically saying, let's see if I can pull up the email. Basically saying that I am who I am, but explaining that to them. And a lot of them have had me because I'm going to be a junior in college. I mean, I'm going to be a junior. So here's the email. And it says, "Hello, many of you have already had me in class or have met me before, but a few of you have not. Before I start your classes this upcoming semester, I would like to let you know a few things about myself and how they have changed. I would like to say that over the summer, a lot of developments within myself have occurred. I discovered that I am a demi-boy, which means that I identify mostly as a boy, but do not wholly, being designated female at birth. Before this, I was in the process of changing my name from my legal name and my widely known nickname, which for purposes I'm going to leave out of here, to Max. While I prefer to be called Max, some of my friends still called me insert old nickname. But I would like for you to use male pronouns unless otherwise stated, which would then be the gender-neutral pronouns they, them, their. This would make my transition a lot easier within the school. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me." And this email itself was a big step for me because yes, I had come out to a few teachers, but I had come out as a gender because I wasn't really sure I was with a friend group that, while they understand that I don't identify as female, didn't really understand it very well. So it's not something we really talk about. They really don't care. Like, care, but they don't. They care for me, they just don't. It's not something we really talk about, which is something I need, I guess. I need a group of friends that it's not really a big deal about, and that's why a lot of my friends, at least at school, like me, because it's who I am. I'm a demi-boy, but I don't make it completely who I am. Like, it's who I am, but it's not all I talk about. I have other interests other than that, which there are those people that literally only talk about that. And I mean, it's a good thing to talk about it. Don't stop. People need to know more. But it gets to the point where if it's the only thing you talk about, people are gonna just be like, oh my god. It's tiring. And it's, for me, tiring to talk about it all the time. Because I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself. But one of my teachers actually did respond. One of the ones I'd come out to before used my preferred name and everything, but she was confused about when I said, I would like you to use male pronouns unless otherwise stated, which, I mean, yeah, that can be confusing, but I meant it as if, like, if you're talking to my mom or my dad, like, they don't really know, and I'm not really sure how to come out to them. I mean, I tried coming out to my mom as a gender, and she just kind of ignores that fact. Like, she doesn't treat me any differently, which I thank her for, but she kind of ignores the fact that I don't have a gender when I came out to her. So she still uses the she pronouns, and she makes a joke about having an it child, which, I mean, it's one thing when I joke about that, but it's another completely when your parent does it. And it's not like I can ever tell my dad this, because my dad's raised as a Christian, and although isn't really overly religious, is still enough religious that I don't really know how he would respond. I know my middle brother is really religious, and me and my oldest brother just don't get along, because I just don't think I could talk to him. So, hence, videos, talking to myself and other people. But that's really not why I'm making these. I'm making these just for myself. But getting back to the point is that because my parents don't know about it, or if someone has a problem with it, and I really don't feel like causing controversial problems or whatever, that's kind of what I meant by that, but I don't really know how to explain it. So I'm gonna work on that, and hopefully make it in a way that there aren't really any questions. So, yeah. Thinking. That was actually one of the biggest steps that I took this weekend, thanks to one of my other friends who told me about the email that they sent their teachers at their school and how they responded. And I figured, well, I have to go back there. I'm going back there. I love the school. I love the school I go to, don't get me wrong. Just some of the people there are not always the most understanding. I mean, it's a private school, private college, and so it's really small. So I can understand why some people are closed-minded, because that's the way they were brought up. But really, you live in a world where there's so many other things, so many other ideals and brained mindsets, or whatever you want to fucking call it, that you kind of have to put your own viewpoint aside and realize, okay, they might have a different mindset than myself, but does that change who they are? If that's the only problem that I have with them, then is it really worth treating them like crap? Because that's the only difference we have. Maybe we like everything else the same. Maybe we like the same video games, same movies, same books, whatever. But I'm getting off track again. But whatever, you know what I mean. So going back to school in September is going to be a big thing for me. And hopefully my teachers will understand and take into consideration everything that I've tried to say, and will ask me questions, and will try to do research, and hopefully it'll transition over well, and hopefully I'll eventually be able to come out to my mother as a demi-boy. Probably not going to do that till after school ends in 2 years. But I mean, and it's just difficult being home and your mom talking. My mother has no problems with my friends that are trans or whatever. She tries her best at using their pronouns and their preferred name, and yeah, she may slip up, but she tries to use it. But when it comes to me, and maybe this is just because I'm a child and she doesn't really see it, or it's harder for her to see it because I'm a child, is that I am changing genders. I wear my binder almost on a daily basis. I dress like a guy. I act like a guy. Basically, I am one. So, except for the fact of my body. I grew up with 2 older brothers and my dad never really liking the girly things my mom wanted me to. So, I mean, back then, she'd call me tomboy, whatever. You're what, 12, 10, 7? You don't really know any different until you go out in the world and leave home. But with all the crap that other people outside of home say, you kind of need the home environment or people around you being friends or family or whatever. You need that support. People need that support. Whether it's your family or friends or people online, parents wonder why kids go online. They wonder why these kids are having so many problems that are transgender or non-binary or whatever. Is that a lot of these kids don't have the support. I'm lucky enough to have friends that will give me the support or will help me figure out ways to give myself support. I'm lucky enough to have that. And a lot of people don't. And we see how it ends. And it's utterly sad. And while I'm going through my own problems, all I really want to do is help them and help these people, help these kids, whether they're 11 or younger or older than myself, if they're older than 20. Because it took me 20 years to figure out where I am. If you're figuring out who you are and coming to terms with it at a younger age, go for you. Find the support system that you need. Find help. Go to talk to people. Be active. But don't try to let other people say consume your life. Because in the end, really what matters is you. Your best friend is going to be your first best friend is going to be yourself. But along with that, your first worst enemy is also going to be yourself. And I've noticed that on a personal level. There are days where I'm like, I can do this. I'm going to be completely positive. I'm okay with this. I can do it. Yeah. And then there's the other days where I'm just like, what is wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. There has to be something wrong with me in my mind. Why am I doing this? go completely negative on myself. And dude, it's just, no. And it's not healthy for me to think that way, but that's how I think. And it's scary, because I don't want to dump my problems on my friends. They're my friends. I trust them. Yeah, I talk to them about this stuff. But I can't tell them that I'm depressed more than they see. That a lot of the time when I'm happy or laughing, it's a mask. That the reason why I work a lot is not only to help pay for my car, to make sure I have money in school, to make sure I'm eating correctly even though I'm pescatarian. It's to make sure I'm occupied, that I'm not home in my basement or my room alone. I work a lot to occupy myself, which is kind of scary. That I'm lucky enough to have a job, even if it's not one that's completely okay with who I am. But it's a job. It pays money, and I need that. And I wish I could tell them, yes, that's always going to be a thought on my mind. I wish I could tell them, but for the moment, I know this isn't going to be where I am for the rest of my life. Why make it a big deal right now when I'm only going to be there at least another year and a half? At least. They're not continuously pointing out that I'm physically female. They're not making me uncomfortable by talking about gender or sex or whatever. They're not doing that. They're not spiting me because I'm different. They don't really care. It doesn't change the way I work. They don't really need to know the point. So, I'm there. But other than that, it's really like, I don't really even know how to describe it. My computer's doing something weird. There we go. But it's kind of like work, being comfortable, home, not really being comfortable. So therefore I go back to work because I'm more comfortable at work than I am home. And don't get me wrong, I love my family. My family supports me with what I do and what I think. And for the most part, they're open-minded. They don't care, but it's different when it becomes your own family. You know? It's just more personal. And I don't want to lose them. It's scary. It's very scary. And I hate to say it, but I'm horrified. I'm horrified of losing my family. I've seen my friends lose their family because of who they are, because they are accepting who they are and their family can't. And I don't want that. But at the same time, I have to sacrifice myself to keep that. And is that really what I want? For right now, yeah. I want my family. I love my family. I'm not saying coming out will make you lose your family. I'm saying I don't know if that will happen if I come out. Because I saw how my mom basically ignored it. And how that hurts. And how she can be afraid of her own time. It's not like she's homophobic. It's not like she doesn't accept people like me. I think it's the fact that I'm her own child and that I was born female. And for 19, 20 years of my life, to her, I was female. I was her daughter. and she can't see that I'm more comfortable being her son, that I'd rather be her third son rather than her only daughter. And I don't really want to lose the relationship I have with my mother, because I can talk to her about almost anything. Keyword being almost. That I'm comfortable enough to have this relationship with my mom, that I can tell her what's going on at school, that I can tell her what's going on with my friends. Not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have that relationship with anyone. Because look about how fake most people's lives are. But I don't want to lose that relationship. So I'm scared of my own losing my support, because I know when I came home, a lot of shit happened, and my mom made comments that she didn't realize that she made. But she got overwhelmed, started yelling at me, saying I'm forcing these things down her throat when she asked me a question. I mean, my mom's on meds. She's recovering from breast cancer. The meds mess with her mind. I understand it's not completely her fault, but at the same time, what she says, even though she doesn't realize it, it still hurts. Oh, hell, it still hurts. There are times that me and myself go into panic attacks, crying fits of thinking that my mother doesn't love me anymore, that my mom would abandon me after all my own medical crap, that my mom didn't abandon me, and knowing that my mom, no matter what, may not understand, but would never abandon me. But it's a thought that's always there, and it never gets easier to deal with, but it does kind of come in less and less, because I have friends that I can talk about it to, and then I have my recordings, and then I have sources that I can just release my pent-up energy, whether it's good, bad, sad, upset, whatever. I have it. I have that outlet. And for most people, it's kind of finding that outlet that they need. So I'm going to go here, considering this is about 23 minutes already, and I don't want to get it much longer because I'm rambling again. But I'll try to make one next week. Bye, guys.